Yo everyone, welcome back to another GeoGuessr video, and we hit 1500 subs, guys. I'm like over the moon about that, because I think we just started daily uploads on this channel like probably 4 months ago, maybe 4 to 5 months ago, but I haven't missed a day, so like gotta shout out my dedication for that. But anyway, just over the moon about getting the shout out from Trevor, of course, to help grow the channel, and then also to all of you guys that are watching, commenting on every video, and giving it a like or a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Helps grow the channel a lot, and we've hit 1500 already, which is quite insane, in my opinion. And we've seen a lot of growth, and I'm quite proud of that. And thought I would reward you guys with a 1500 subs Q&A. I obviously didn't get like too many questions, I think, but gonna run through all of these, and yeah, hopefully you get to see a bit more about me as a creator. So how long have you played GeoGuessr for? So I remember in my old job, I was still doing my master's degree at the time, and I just had like a part-time job, and there was a lot of downtime during that job. So like on most days, we all had access to computers, so I would just be watching GeoWizard videos, like, because they popped up on my recommended randomly one day, so I started watching his videos, and then I think, according to GeoGuessr, it looks like my first subscription was bought on December 28th, 2020, so officially my GeoGuessr journey started then. I did take, like, pretty lengthy breaks off, I think, from streaming and Geo in, like, middle of 2022, and middle of like 2023-ish. So I haven't really been playing like the full nearly 4 years now. I've kind of like slowly like picked it back up and went down and had various degrees of interest, but ever since the Geo World Cup started, like I feel like I've been pretty locked in terms of like with the community, making friends, and yeah, just thankful to be part of Rainbolt's community since the beginning, basically. So very exciting about that. But yeah, that pretty much is how long I've played Geo for, since I would say very early 2021, basically. All right. So another question here is, who are your top three favorite veteran GeoGuessr players in order? And that, I mean, that is incredibly tough because I feel like there are just so many to name. I would say people that have been around from the beginning and have consistently like watched my channel since the beginning. People like Project Bloom, the old Geo content creators, Project Bloom, Geo Guy, AG Blatt, like those guys. They really helped make my channel what it is today, because it used to be like AG Blatt streams, then a Project Bloom stream, and then a Diono stream, because I used to be streaming from Hawaii, so he would just rain into me afterwards. So, like, Bloom's probably the biggest veteran OG for me in the GeoGuessr community. He doesn't really play Geo as much anymore, but he was definitely one of the people that helped me introduce just Geo to me in general. And yeah, he was always an entertaining watch, man. That guy, absolutely electric streams. So I would have to put Bloom number one. And then, wow. In terms of other OGs, I would say Camille, my very old mod. Shout out Camille. He's been there with me since the beginning. I think when I was pulling like 2 to 3 viewers, playing Battle Royale countries, he was there. So I would say Camille number two for me, although I haven't heard much of him recently. I hope he's doing well. Of course, he probably got caught up in his own stuff. With what he was doing for his degree and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, number three, there's so many people that I can name. GC, who I've known for a long time. Radu C, who I've known for a long time. Yeah, just a lot of people in general. Save the Snail has been there for a long time, but yeah. I don't know if I have a third, but it's just like all of the OG community for me. So yeah, that would probably be my top three. I know it probably wasn't a little bit more of a roundabout answer than you guys anticipated, but I think that's gonna be my answer for that one. All right, do you plan to start Discord? Not right now. I think. I don't know what would be happening in there. I mean, I have a Discord for like streaming notifications. Like, I would say it's pretty dead in there, aside from me pinging everyone, "Hey, I'm going live," and then what I'm doing. But like, nobody really chats in there anyway. I mean, you can join that Discord if you want, but I don't know, which you can find on my Twitch, by the way. But I don't know if I plan to start like one that Finbar has, where he just does daily challenges every day. Maybe, but I don't know if the channel's like big enough and has that much of an audience for me to actually start a Discord for GeoGuessr purposes. So you know, maybe as the channel grows, but we'll see. All right. For Geo Competitive, what counts as a beginner, intermediate, and pro in terms of skill or knowledge? So I think beginner is like when you're first starting out, like you don't know what country flags are, you don't know, um, like if it's Europe or the U.S. based off of like context clues, like landscape clues, infrastructure clues, stuff like that. That would be a beginner in my mind. I think intermediate is someone that like kind of knows, like, you know, at least you're getting the continent right most of the time, and sometimes even the country if you like learn stuff as you go. So like working your way up there. Um, and then pro, man, I don't know. Like pro is such a loosely defined term. I wouldn't consider myself a pro because like by definition, pro is someone that makes money off of playing the game, which like I don't. Like I've never been to the World Cup. Like a bunch of my friends have, but I've never been there. So I would consider like them to be pros technically because they've made money off of the game, but I don't even consider myself to be a pro. So I don't know if you can even be a pro without really first making money off of some tournament or like the World Cup, for example. So I don't know. I would also say like in terms of skill or knowledge, uh, man, for pro, I feel like you are consistently getting the right country like 90-95% of the time if you're playing no move. Um, and like making correct region guesses within those countries. So like knowing which parts of the country is like for Italy, for example, like knowing the Alps compared to the middle like region like Tuscany, very hilly, like that middle region outside Rome. And then as you get down to uh like to tip of the boot and then like Sicily or like Sardinia, like distinguishing between like region guessing within countries and not just getting the countries as well is to me what kind of defines a pro. Because like you can get countries just based off of like signs, other stuff, but like knowing exactly what landscapes look like and knowing how to guess within those countries is a completely different thing, I think. And that kind of makes the jump for me in terms of being an absolute pro at the game. Alrighty, next question. Who would win in a cage fight between Debra and MK? Very interesting question. I don't know how MK is built, to be honest. We've only seen his face, so I guess we'll find out in Stockholm how Brody is built. But I think Debra just has that extra tenacity, man. Like, who knows? Uh, he just seems like if he took that yapping and he focused it into any MMA or some kind of martial arts in general, like he would be an absolute menace. So I think I would take Debra just strictly based off of the passion that he has for everything that he does, essentially. So take Debra in that one, and that's a pretty quick one. And another well-made video, Q&A questions. Who do you think will be making out of each group at the World Cup, and who do you think could be an underrated potential upset player in the tournament? So I've answered this in the predictions, if you guys haven't seen it already. Long story short, I think making it out of the groups, I've predicted that, so you can check the videos for that. But for an underrated potential upset player, I would say a lot of people aren't rating Crooks that highly, and I think like he's an absolute no-move killer. And I just think he has a really good shot because he's a pretty competent moving player as well. I mean, NMPZ is probably his weakest mode, but I think if he's able to close it out in the no-move stuff, man, he could go pretty far. And I think Group B is very hard to predict, right? Like some people have Zigzag on top, some people have Zigzag not even making it. So it's like it's a whole thing. And I don't know, like I mean Crooks would probably be my underrated player that I would choose, but like the argument can be made for anyone in Group B to be a dark horse, in my opinion, because I think Group B has the biggest dark horse potential in terms of the people that are playing in that group. So yeah, we'll see. All right, plans to visit Australia in the future, and if so, then which states? So, I do want to visit Australia because I do have some friends there, of course, and me and the girlfriend were talking about going down to Australia and New Zealand. I've expressed my interest to like drive around New Zealand, which I think could be really cool. So I do want to do that. But Australia in general, I would probably hit Sydney, Melbourne. Um, those are probably the two main places that I want to go to. Melbourne because my buddy Sponge TGS and Tiny Turtle both live there. And yeah, I mean, they're probably the people that I'm closest to in the Oceania region. So that's where I would probably go to. I don't really have any plans to go anywhere else in Australia. But yeah, those two cities. And I think my girlfriend would also like to visit those two big cities as well. So sounds like a lot of fun. And yeah, we'll hopefully be planning that in the near future. All right, Zigzag collab anytime soon. You guys did see our ranked 2v2s video, I think, but in the future, as soon as World Cup stuff dies down, I think it would be good. I always love doing collabs with Oscar. He's an excellent guy and yeah, just a great GeoGuessr player overall, makes good content. So yeah, I would love to collab with him as much as I can. I'll definitely hit him up post World Cup. I don't want to bother him right now, of course, because he is busy with a bunch of things, training, last minute training. So yeah, we'll just wait on that. Who's your favorite Danish person? Well, it is, of course, Meisterud, my favorite Danish person, who I will be seeing at the GeoGuessr World Cup, so I'm quite excited for that. And yeah, just quite excited to meet everyone in general. Should be fun. But shout out Meisterud. And Dominic asked, 3 favorite and least favorite countries to guess in GeoGuessr NMPZ when no car meta, etc. is visible. Well, for me, I don't know if Mongolia is number one, but like, dude, with the new Gen 4 and like even in Gen 3, I used to be decent at Mongolia. Like I used to like a little Diono lore back in the day. I used to end every stream with a extra rural Mongolia made by May Potato. And every stream with 1 seed of that, but we don't do that anymore. But yeah, Mongolia is definitely up there for me. Especially urban Mongolia is a bit hard for me. NMPZ, Russia's quite hard for me as well. And I don't know. I would have to say one of the African countries, like maybe Kenya or sometimes even Australia, because like you've seen many incidents of me going wah on South Australia and vice versa. So I would say it's some collaboration of those 3. I guess Mongolia is learnable, so I would probably say it's got to be big countries, right? So I'd probably say like Australia. Well, actually, I would say Brazil's got to be up there as well. So I would say for me personally, it's probably Russia, Brazil, Australia. Those are the 3 countries that I feel the weakest in NMPZ. But yeah, it's just probably just big country bias for me because you just don't lose as much points in smaller European countries. So like I'm not going to throw any of those in there besides Russia, essentially. Has GeoGuessr generally broadened or narrowed your travel desires? Have you come across any locations that you would really want to visit someday? Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot. Like, you know, that Meteora Trekker is really cool. Places in Norway, I really want to visit Lofoten up there. Looks really cool. I know Ziggy's been there a couple times. Would love to drive Norway and just see the fjords. And just go along that E10 road all the way up to the north. E6? Which road is it? One of those. Anyway, yeah, just really excited to do that one day. I think, you know, a lot of places in Europe. I want to visit South America. I mean, there's so many places that are on my list. It's hard for me to do, and I want to travel while I'm young, so I'm going to try to travel as much as I can, but yeah, there's just so many places that just can't be named that I don't know, that I want to visit. And Europe for me right now is number 1, just because I think Europe has so much to explore, so many different cultures. And that's kind of why I'm doing Central Europe after Stockholm. So that should be fun. But looking forward to that as well. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And yeah, that's going to conclude the Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And by tomorrow, I will be on a plane to Stockholm. So very excited for that. Hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A. If you guys have any other questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another GeoGuessr video. Peace.